Well, when I moved into my new home, the one thing I hadn't appreciated was how difficult it would be to get used to being in a new home. And basically, when dementia has thrown challenges at me, I found a way to outmaneuver or found a way round so I can still live quite happily in my home. And one of the main ones when I first moved in was in my kitchen. The kitchen had 2 doors originally, and closed doors are just very confusing to people with dementia, as you don't remember what's at the other side of the door. And so having 2 doors from my kitchen, I couldn't remember where either of them led to, and I'd end up going round and round in circles. And I simply ended up removing the doors. Simple solution, but it meant I could see where each door led. Another thing was the kitchen cupboards and wardrobes. When I first moved in, my daughters asked me why I was wearing the same clothes every day. I said I didn't think we'd unpacked all the boxes with my clothes, but it turned out that I wasn't seeing the wardrobes. So my solution to that was to take a picture of the content of the wardrobes and stick it on the outside, and that attracted my attention to say there are clothes in here. The light switches was another problem. I don't see light switches because they blend into the colour of the wall, and so a simple solution to that was simply to paint a border around each light switch, so now I can easily find the light switches. Because the one important thing to remember is that dementia isn't just about memory, and lots of our other senses are affected as well. And how we see things, our brain sometimes doesn't interpret it correctly. I used to get lost coming home. And the house that I lived in, there were 4 identical houses when I first moved in. And I'd think that my neighbour's house was my house. And I tried to let myself in my neighbour's house. But my solution to that was to put a Forgetmenot tile on each side of my door, and that way I know that that door is my door. Another simple thing was for toilet doors. I forget what's behind each door, and so I simply put a T on that door, and the T just helps me to find where the toilet door is. And one of the final things I remember is in the shower, I'd forget how to use the shower. They rarely have on-off switches and hot-cold identified. And so I simply put a sticker on each side of the shower telling me which was on and off and which was hot and cold. Simple solutions that just make living so much easier.